Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Captain Ryan. Today's World of Warships replay comes from subscriber Iga Blugalo. I probably butchered your name and I apologize for that. Definitely sorry about that. I'm just going to call you Iga. Iga is here in his Gneisenau, Tier 7 German battleship and the sister ship to the Scharnhorst. In-game, very much similar to the Scharnhorst, a very fast battleship, something like 32 knots, making her almost the fastest battleship, I think right behind the Missouri and Iowa. But she's also a special battleship in the respect that she comes with torpedoes. And the torpedoes on this ship have amazing arcs, so you can get them away without having to over-angle your ship and expose too much of your broadside. Simultaneously, you can get them away at pursuing targets, again, without doing the same. The guns on this ship, however, are kind of where it falls short. They're the same size guns that you get on the Bismarck at Tier 8. The problem is, on the Bismarck, you get 8 of them, but on the Gneisenau, you get 6 of them. And the RNG dispersion on them, well, it's just as bad as the Scharnhorst. The difference is the Scharnhorst gets 9 guns, so the dispersion is a little more forgiving. However, dispersion aside, Iga manages to secure a citadel on a broadsiding cruiser right off the bat, which is actually pretty impressive when you consider how bad the RNG's dispersion on this ship can be. However, with good aim, you can get great clustering shots, and there's even more shots. Can he secure even more damage on him? Yes, he does secure another citadel for a first blood. Iga, so far, helping his team out, taking out cruiser guns right from the get-go. Enemy team has captured the D cap point. Based on what's been visible, that can only really identify that there's a destroyer in the vicinity. Manages to put a citadel and a big ol' hurt on a British cruiser who parked himself broadside on to Iga before he was able to pop his smokescreen. There is the enemy destroyer who capped the B cap point. Friendly team is actually in the process of capping C, surprisingly enough, but nobody is really in the process of contesting A, aside from one lone ship. So the enemy team is down on ships, but Iga's friendly team not really in the process of trying to gain any more caps. However, it does look like they're going to secure the C cap point, which is now going to give them a cap advantage, at least for a little while, until the enemy team caps A. Speaking of the Gneisenau sister ship, there is the Scharnhorst, and Iga is engaged with the Scharnhorst, but he's also very far forward. He doesn't have a lot of backup here, and from the looks of it, he's currently in the process of trying to reverse and get out of the situation that he's found himself in. The enemy cruiser off at that smokescreen is in fact close enough that his secondaries are hitting him and lighting him on fire. Enemy torpedoes coming in from the Scharnhorst, and they die just before they reach Iga. That is actually a really good thing. Now he's switched over to his high explosive to try and set that Scharnhorst on fire. Manages to kill the cruiser in the smokescreen with torpedoes, so there is his second kill in this game. But he is burning. And while battleships can sustain burning damage for a while, when you're below half health, not the best thing in the world. He switches back over to the armor piercing, and with any luck, that Scharnhorst will continue to provide broadside. Of course, he really doesn't have much option, as he's basically got himself between an island and an island. So his only options are to turn bow on, or to stay broadside. So who's going to get the kill here? Iga's done a fair amount of damage to this Scharnhorst, but he's very low health, and he's being shot at. Ooh, he's almost dead. Is somebody else going to secure the kill? Yes, they take the kill. Sorry, no kill for you. However, enemy Bayern up here, and it looks like he might be stock. Pushing up, he's on the far edge of the map, and now he's isolated. He's pretty much all by himself. Iga's team way up on points, way up on ships, and that Bayern, well, he's overextended himself, and there's not much he can do now. He's got the Gneisenau who's shooting at him, and of course he's got a plethora of enemy ships behind Iga who are shooting at him as well, and probably trying to set him on fire. Iga manages to help assist in the decap for that capture flag. So now his team holds 3 of the caps. They're down 1 ship. This match is just not going to last very long. The enemy team really needs to rally if they want to come back and at least put up a concerted effort to try and win this. After securing those massive citadels right at the beginning of the game, the RNG's dispersion on this ship is finally showing through, as Iga's no longer able to get good penetrating hits, even on that Bayern, even though he's broadside. A good number of his shots are actually bouncing off the belt armor. Though trying to citadel a German battleship is never easy due to its turtleback, but it can be done. He gets shots out there at the destroyer, but that destroyer's pretty far out there, and of course he disappeared. None of his shots hit. Very difficult with just those 6 guns to actually land hits on destroyers at any kind of range. You really have to build your German battleships for secondaries and let your secondary gunners do the job. The secondary guns on the Gneisenau have the same capabilities and range as the secondary guns on the Scharnhorst. Again, they're sister ships. They're very, very similar. The range, if built for sole secondaries, is up to 7.2 kilometers. But don't expect them to start firing 7.2 kilometers. They'll start firing at about 7 kilometers. If you opt to do the anti-aircraft module instead of the secondary range module, your secondary range is going to be about 6.7 kilometers with the other skills. I find, personally, that the 6.7 kilometer range module is actually more than enough as opposed to having the 7.2. Usually, I find myself in situations where having that extra 10% to my anti-aircraft rating comes in far more useful than having that extra 0.5 kilometers on my secondary batteries. Now, Iga is headed towards the sea cap point. Pretty much most of the remaining enemy team is back over there, with the exception of the 1 destroyer who's still up in that corner. But the enemy team has decided to turn around, fall back, and try and push back to sea and re-secure it. They have managed to kill a couple more ships on Iga's team, so they've kind of staved off the inevitable for a little bit longer. He gets more shots out there, all overpin, angling his bow fairly well, and that's what the Gneisenau and Scharnhorst are really good at, is to get people to shoot into that belt armor at angles that are fairly extreme, because the belt armor is so thick. Secondaries opening up there. I don't know if he's got manual secondaries, but I assume so based on how they're firing and the accuracy that they've got. Manages to get some good regular penetration damages on the side of that battleship. Torpedoes coming in here. I don't think he's going to be able to torpedo beats this time. No, he doesn't. He's on fire, takes flooding, pops his damage control ability, but you'll notice he no longer has a repair. So, without a repair, he's basically gonna end this battle fast. There's an enemy Nürnberg up there, and at this point, I would have actually adjusted my focus to that Nürnberg and shot at him. But it doesn't actually matter because a friendly battleship behind him manages to take him out with a devastating strike. Pretty much just triple citadel'd the guy and finished him all off. That battleship up there is burning in a lot of different places. But Iga, very low health. However, his team is way up on points, and really all they have to do is stay alive long enough to get those points. But he manages to secure the kill, and that's enough to bring them to victory instantly. Which means Iga survives with a Dreadnought, a First Blood, and a devastating strike. 107,000, almost 108,000 damage done, which is really not bad at all. Gets those torpedo hits, and I love seeing those torpedo hits with I have ships that have torpedoes. Only does 292,000 credits out of that matchup, though. I'm not sure if he's running a premium account or not. It's entirely possible that he isn't. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, as well as contribute to discussions, you can do so by liking and following my Facebook page. If you'd like to help support me and my channel and what I'm doing, you can become my Patreon and help donate there, as well as get early access to replays like this one and others first and foremost. If you've got a replay like this one, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships and other games live on my live stream, you can like and follow me on my Twitch channel. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.